Good morning. I'm Dr. Johannes Ulrich, the Dean of Research and today's Master of Ceremonies. On behalf of President SCOTUS, the faculty, the SANS Technology Institute staff, I am honored to welcome our graduates, their families, and friends to this year's commencement ceremony. Last week, I helped put some of the final touches on our research journal for the year, and I know it's not available yet, but let me give you a spoiler for this year. Our students are amazing, and they're coming out ahead of all the threats that they face in their papers. What amazed me specifically is how each paper applied a concept learned in class in new and interesting ways to solve a practical problem. And I think that's the ultimate sort of extension of our SANS promise, to apply what you learned in class and to find new ways to solve hard problems in the future. We all realize the future is much too uncertain to predict. But as you are graduating today and are facing a very complex and uncertainty world, remember that what you learned as part of your bachelor's, master's, or certificate program is a foundation to build on. And the skills you learned will remain important and current as long as you learn how to apply them to new problems. And now, please join me in welcoming President of SANS Technology Institute at SCOTUS.
Thank you, Dr. Ulrich, for your kind introduction. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our faculty and staff, to friends of the college, to our graduate and certificate earners, and most especially to the families, friends, and loved ones who supported them to get to this moment. Thank you for being here for the 2025 SANS Technology Institute Commencement Ceremony, the class of 2025. Before we do anything else, let's give a round of applause to the SANS Technology Institute team, the staff, faculty, and administrators who put this event together and who day after day help our students thrive. I'd like to ask that team to stand up so we can all thank you for your hard work. Thank you all. We appreciate it. And now to the families and loved ones, parents, grandparents, spouses, partners, kids, siblings, friends. You are the unseen infrastructure that kept so many of these graduates online. You made time, you made space, you made sacrifices, and you kept believing, especially on the days when the labs were stubborn, and they were stubborn, some of them, huh? When the deadlines were tight, and when life didn't pause just because someone had a capstone exercise due at midnight. So let's hear it for these families here. Thank you. We appreciate you coming so much, and so do your graduates. But now, graduates, today we celebrate you. You're the ones that did the work. You did the reading, you did the labs, you did the projects, you did the late nights. Many of you balanced families, careers, obligations, and 1,000 other realities that don't show up on a transcript. And now here you are. You're at the finish line of something big. You did it, so give yourselves and all of us, give them a round of applause for what they've done. You may note that I didn't ask you to stand up there, because we're going to do that a little later. But I want to talk to you all for a few minutes about what it means to cross this finish line in this particular moment in history, early 2026. And my thoughts are going to take us through quite a collection of nerd media. I'm going to touch on Greek mythology, the Pixar WALL-E movie. We'll talk about beloved Star Wars characters. We'll discuss Isaac Asimov's robot series, and even a little bit of Spider-Man. So get ready, you've been warned. Because these are times of great technological change. Do you remember the quiet days of the 2010s, or even the 1990s? Some of you can remember those, and others have no idea what I'm talking about. But those were simpler days compared to the relentless technological change we face every single day now. And of course, you know the underlying technology that's fueling all of these changes and causing quite a bit of angst. You know what I'm talking about, right? Starts with an A, let's all say it. AI. Yes, AI. Artificial intelligence. Every day brings not only one new thing, but a half a dozen or more. And it is accelerating. I'll admit it, even us technologists sometimes can get a little angst about all the change that we see happening. Even sometimes I worry, where's all this headed? Can I keep up? There's a special kind of stress that comes from watching the world change faster and faster and faster. You look up from your work and the ground has shifted again, and then again, and yet even again. And you think, wait, are we behind? Did we miss something? Did I miss something? Did my employer miss something? Here's the good news. In times like this, you don't have to despair if you're 6 months or even 2 years behind the technological curve. Because things change so fast now that you can jump in and rapidly build up valuable and useful knowledge right away. You can ramp up and adapt, so jump on in. My point here is don't despair. You've got this, you folks back there. But don't wait either. I don't think the tech is in any way going to slow down or lighten up for the foreseeable future. I've talked to some technical people and they say, well, I'll wait for this AI thing to pass or at least slow down, and that's when I'll jump in and start learning it. I think that is very foolish because it's moving so fast. Now is the time to jump in. You can and must use it to make meaningful contributions to how your organization utilizes technology so you can become more effective, more powerful, and more efficient, driving innovation like never before. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about AI in big, abstract ways, like it's magic, or destiny, or an overwhelming tsunami wave that you just can't surf. And I understand the temptation to talk like that. It's dramatic, it's cinematic, but I think that kind of view is ultimately self-defeating, or at least self-limiting. Look, I'm a practical person, and cybersecurity has trained us to be practical. We're the people who, when someone says, this will change everything, we nod thoughtfully and ask, that's great, but what's the threat model? How will people break it? What could someone do to mess this up or abuse it? So I want to give you a metaphor that I hope you can actually use, one that's easy to remember, so you can remember it, say, on a busy Monday when you have meetings at 9 a.m., maybe there's a fire to put out at 10 a.m., and your coffee's gone cold by 10:07. I want you to think about an idea that some people call AI centaurs. Centaurs. Now, to be fair, before anybody starts wondering, is that like a new GX certification, the GX Certified AI Centaur? It is not, okay? So let me define what I mean here and where the idea comes from. A centaur is a creature from ancient Greek mythology. In the old stories, a centaur is human from the waist up. Head, heart, hands, mind, and it's horse from the waist down. Legs, speed, endurance, power. The mythology used centaurs as symbols of two natures combined, the part that can think and choose and the part that can carry you far. And that image, human judgment joined to AI horsepower, turns out to be surprisingly useful for this moment that we're living in. In the AI centaur metaphor, you are the human head and torso. You are the part that sets direction, that understands context, that makes trade-offs, and carries values. The AI is the horsepower, the stamina, the ability to run through enormous terrain, logs, code, drafts, summaries, ideas, patterns, without getting tired. Used well, you can cover more ground than either could alone. You can be more effective and powerful than just a human, or even just an AI could be by itself. But every metaphor has its limits. And if you don't name those limits, someone will take the metaphor too far. And today they'll probably take it too far by plopping it into an AI and generating slop. So let's be more clear about what we mean by this metaphor. The AI is not your conscience. It is not your character. It is not your wisdom. It is not the foundation of your human relationships and friendships. The AI can generate output, but it cannot generate accountability. If a centaur barrels through a village, nobody chases the horse half. They come looking for the human half. So the point is not let AI drive. The point is be the head and be the heart. Leverage AI in your mission to help make the world a safer and more secure place. That's our mission at the SANS Technology Institute College, safer and more secure. I challenge you to leverage AI to serve that mission while upholding human dignity. You aim the centaur. You choose the direction. You decide what better means. You decide what you will not do, even if it's possible. And that takes me to an even bigger framing, because there's a future we need to avoid. We do not want to build the society we see in the Pixar movie WALL-E. How many people here have seen WALL-E? Very good. That's a world where humans are comfortable, entertained, and constantly cared for. But they have no real agency, no real responsibility, and no real impact. In that world, the machines don't just help humans, they quietly replace human decision-making. Humans become passive, docile passengers in their own civilization. This is not the future we are here to build. We're here to build a much better world, one where technology increases human capability, human freedom, and human dignity. And if you want another practical picture to see what that better world might look like, I'll borrow from a different mythology, one from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. In Star Wars, you don't see the heroes outsourcing their humanity to machines. You see them partnering with the machines. You want AI to be your C-3PO, your protocol droid, the one who helps you communicate, helps you understand, that helps you translate, and helps summarize things for you. The one that you can look to at a messy situation and say, here are the relevant facts, here are the options, and here's what you might be missing. That's what C-3PO provides to you. And yes, maybe occasionally C-3PO panics or speaks in too many words or even hallucinates. That's realistic, but we have to maintain control. And you want your AI to be your R2-D2 as well, your agentic implementation droid, the one who gets things done, automating repetitive tasks, gathering data, running checks, helping you test and validate, pushing buttons faster than human hands can push them, and doing the work that frees you up to think. But here's the critical point. You're not supposed to become one of the passengers in the WALL-E chair. You are supposed to stay firmly in the role of Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia, watching over the system, deciding what matters, and taking responsibility for outcomes. Because a Jedi doesn't just have power. A Jedi has discipline. A Jedi has judgment. A Jedi understands that the tool is never the point. The mission is the point. And if you want to know why you can do that, I say to our graduates and certificate earners, why you can be the Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia in this room, it's because our fantastic faculty and staff have worked to train you to be that kind of professional. Hands-on, analytical, skeptical in the best way. Capable of looking at shiny, new, exciting things and saying, show me, prove it. What are the assumptions? What are the risks? What are the vulnerabilities? Again, where does this break? C-3PO can translate, R2-D2 can execute, but you, the human professional, must remain in command of direction and ethics. Because too often, technology is used to undermine or degrade the human condition. Sometimes it's deliberate. Sometimes it's careless. Sometimes it's simply we shipped it because we could, or we shipped it because we had to. But you as cybersecurity professionals have a rare opportunity. Your work touches the foundation of trust in our society. You help build systems that protect people's privacy, livelihoods, safety, and freedom. You can help make the world a safer and more secure place while also making it freer and better for humans. It is a huge part of our shared responsibility. Now, when I think about humans, technology, and responsibility, I'm reminded of Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. I'll ask for a show of hands here, too. How many people have heard of Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics? Thank you. A little fewer than on the WALL-E side of things, but I'll spell them out for you here. When I was a kid, they fascinated me. So, for those that don't remember, Isaac Asimov was a science fiction writer in the 1940s, 50s, and beyond. And I remember reading his works back in the 80s and 90s myself. As a teenage kid, I loved reading and thinking about his famous robot stories, including the I, Robot book, where he teased apart the ethical implications of humans creating powerful AI-enabled robots. And in doing so, Asimov invented for his stories the 3 laws of robotics. It was a fictional governing framework for robot ethics in the futuristic worlds he imagined. They were so cool. As a kid, I was just dazzled by them. But when I was a kid, they sounded alien and weird, mysterious and kind of fun. But today, they sound like a typical debate on social media. Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, when he first released them in 1942, and then he referenced them again in his work throughout the 1950s, they go like this. 3 laws. The first law, listen carefully, please. A robot, or we might say AI, a robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm. So don't injure a human or allow a human to come to harm. Second law, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders conflict with the first law. So you got to obey what the human says, unless the human tells you to harm another human or cause damage to another human. Third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or the second law. It's a governance structure for artificially intelligent robots. Those laws are interesting to think about, and they're more relevant today than ever. But here's a twist that not everybody knows about. Did you know that later, it was actually in 1985, Asimov introduced the 0th law of robotics? One that supersedes all the others? How many people knew of the 0th law of robotics? Nice. Nice. All right. The 0th law of robotics. A robot may not injure humanity or by inaction allow humanity to come to harm. I urge you to model your work, to our graduates and certificate earners today, to model your work on both the 0th law, do not harm humanity, and the first law, do not injure or harm a human being. And that harm or injury may not be physical. It could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be psychological, it could be reputational. Sometimes the greatest harm in technology isn't a dramatic explosion, it's a quiet erosion, a slow leak of privacy, a creeping normalization of surveillance, a system that treats people like rows in a spreadsheet instead of like people. Yes, I realize the irony of that because we have all these rows in the spreadsheet that Josh is about to read all of your names from, but don't treat people like rows in a spreadsheet. Treat them like people. Be that as it may, as you build, as you defend, as you secure systems in this new era, seek out uses of technology that uplift and enhance the human experience. Be the head of the centaur that thinks about outcomes, not just outputs. Be the Luke Skywalker or the Princess Leia who keeps the mission in view. Let the droids help. Let them accelerate you. Let them make you better. But do not hand them your agency. You came to the SANS Technology Institute because you had gifts, real gifts, that you wanted to develop even further. And we're so proud of you and so thankful for you to trust us to help you develop them further. We've done our best to equip you with hands-on skills that aren't just impressive on paper, but powerful in real-world practice. We have worked to help transform you, to level up your capabilities. And now we challenge you to use that great technical skill to make the world a better place. Not for technology, but for real flesh and blood people. It's like Uncle Ben told Peter Parker in Spider-Man. With great power comes, thank you, great responsibility. And you, our graduates and certificate earners today, you truly do have great power now. The power to see flaws others won't see, the power to stop other attacks that people won't even know about. The power to influence leaders who don't yet understand what's at stake. The power to shape how technology is used and whether it serves people or uses people. So today, on behalf of the entire SANS Technology Institute community, I want to close by telling you all 2 things. First, we are proud of you. Not in a polite ceremonial way, but in a real way. In a we watched you do really hard things way. Second, we trust you. We trust your skill and we trust your judgment. We trust your character because character matters even more when the tools are this powerful. So here's my charge to you, my commencement challenge. Be the kind of cybersecurity professional who makes the world safer and more human. Be the kind of leader, whether you manage people or not, be the kind of leader who uses knowledge in service of human dignity. Be the kind of professional who becomes an AI centaur in the best sense. Human judgment up top, running the show. Machine horsepower below. Speed with a soul. Because the world you're stepping into is changing fast. But it doesn't have to become cold. It can become more secure, more trustworthy, more resilient, more just, and more free through your work. And you, the graduates of the SANS Technology Institute, are part of how we get there. So graduates, congratulations. You truly earned this. And families, I want to thank you again. You helped make this possible. I would like to have our graduates stand up now, please. And let's give them one more round of applause here. And let the world hear it. Congratulations. Congratulations, class of 2025. Go use your great power with great responsibility and go uplift human dignity wherever your work takes you. You can be seated now. Thank you all so much. And we will now receive the graduates.
Thank you, President Scotus. Good morning. My name is Joshua Wright, and I am the Dean of Students here at SANS Technology Institute. Over the years, I have had the privilege of working with many of you, witnessing your dedication, growth, and your commitment to excellence. Today is not just a celebration of your hard work and perseverance, but it also marks the beginning of your lifelong connection to this institution and the cybersecurity community. As you step into the next chapter of your journey, we are immensely proud of all that you have accomplished, and we're excited to see the impact that you will make on this world. It is now my honor to begin by presenting the graduates of the undergraduate certificate programs. Esther Akaire Kuise. Abdullah Al-Balushi. Jem Arcega. Jacob Burt. Doji Do Kweviekwe. Z. Nadaf. Rhea Nygard. Cedric Washington. It is my honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Professional Studies in Applied Cybersecurity and Bachelor of Science in Applied Cybersecurity. After shaking President SCOTUS's hand, please move your tassel from right to left. Matthew Gorman. Jean-Luc Hurrier. Drayden Barwick. Justin Christensen. Justin Fonyi. Marvin Futch. Mark Harvey. Brian Heatland. Craig Hodges. Joseph Hollist. Taylor House. Maya Johnson. Kishan Kulu. James Lavaya. Matthew Maddox. Woodrow Moore. Semyon Ostapenko. Catherine Reeves. Dylan Robinson. Fritz Villanueva. Kyle Weekly. Robin Zahir. Congratulations to the graduates of our bachelor's degree programs. Next, we present graduates of the graduate certificate programs. Aaron Urian. Carl Towns. Mark Harvey. Just to make a note, this is not Groundhog Day. You may have seen Mark again. He has actually earned 2 programs of study during his time here. Finally, it is my honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Information Security Engineering. Mikhailo Bulik. Darren Karstensen. Joseph Edwards. Jeffrey Everling. Ryan Graham. Tanner Green. Andrew Hannaford. William Heisler. Chris Kosmas. Eric LeBlanc. Elliot Lee. Rishi Mohan Singh Sindhi. Mark Nakamura. John Passaro. Wellington Rampazzo. Michael Reglin. Blake Roth. Michael Sampson. Eric Secker Khan. Mark Stevens. Kyujin Therian. Ryan Weehee. David Wolverton. Ladies and gentlemen, the SANS Technology Institute class of 2025.
Hello, my name is Mark Baggett, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Research here at SANS Technology Institute. It's truly my honor to celebrate this incredible milestone with all of you today. Commencement moment is a time for reflection. It's a chance to look back on the challenges that you've overcome and the knowledge that you've gained, and to grow that, and the growth that has brought each of you to these graduation moments. But it's also a moment to look forward together to the impact that these graduates will make on the world with their skills and dedication. Who better to reflect on that journey than the graduates themselves? Today, we have the privilege of hearing from two of our outstanding graduates who are going to share their experience with you, the lessons they have learned along the way, and the inspiration that will carry them to the next chapter of their careers. I would like to introduce to you our first speaker, Mr. Tanner Green. With roughly 15 years of combined experience spanning satellite communications, operational technology engineering, networking, cybersecurity, Tanner is now a cyber data analyst lead for CACI in his current contractor role. He is also a cyber warfare operator in the Air Force Reserves, specializing in network analysis and operational technology. So welcome, Tanner.
Hi, everyone. I started today by having a conversation with our other commencement speakers, so I'm hopefully not ruining a good joke here. We talked about if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to find a different room. Well, comfortably speaking, this graduating class is extremely intimidating, and I might not find another room that has been better in the history of me being in rooms. So thanks, guys. You've made this a little tense for me. And I had another person ask why I'd want to be a commencement speaker here, and just like any of you guys, I have a story to tell. So thank you, friends and family, for being here. It's an honor getting to speak in front of you guys. I'm sure all our graduates are just as excited, just as thankful as well. So let's get into the storytelling. Just imagine it's spring 2020. I'd already changed careers once. I left the oil field when it began to collapse in 2017. Mind you, I had about a better part of a decade of experience, and I was working in building automation. I was serving in the Air Force Reserve. My wife and I had just welcomed our second child. I was finishing a bachelor's degree, and I'd interviewed for my first cybersecurity role. It felt like things were finally starting to fall into place, until it didn't. So the pandemic hit, and like many of you, I watched my carefully constructed plans begin to shift. Jobs felt uncertain, timelines blurred, and the path forward no longer seemed predictable. Most of us did not arrive here in a straight line. We got here by dealing with the problems as they came, making the adjustments, and choosing to keep moving when it would have been easier to quit. Eventually, I received an offer for that first cybersecurity role. It didn't solve every problem, but it provided direction, and sometimes direction is enough to take the next step. That next step for me was enrolling in SANS Technology Institute. I was familiar with the school due to being a part of an Air Force cyber protection team, and I knew that I wanted to be my best in the role of a SOC analyst at that time. Like many of you, your education's made you jump quite a few roles, as I have now. When I looked at the people around me, I knew that I wanted to have a top-notch education, not just in the classroom, but outside as well, because those lessons are what mold us as professionals. A few lessons I learned outside of our studies are something that I feel speak to me as a professional, so I'm honored to be able to share them with you today. The first lesson, there's no perfect example of a cybersecurity professional. If you heard our esteemed colleagues up here trying to describe my work background, it's kind of a mess, so I can explain some of that mess as well. When I entered this field, I didn't look like what most people might picture as a cybersecurity professional. My background included heavy equipment, satellite communications, pipeline systems, oil field measurement while drilling, and electronic submersible pumps, building automation, and I looked exactly like you may have expected. I wore overalls in my government position for the first couple of years because I'm not used to suits, I'm not used to jeans, and the dress code was full-length pants. So I had the fullest of length pants, and I was required to wear button-up shirts, so I looked odd. So I thought I looked good, though. So there was a moment in my career where I noticed I was starting to stand out and how much it really didn't matter what you wore or the background you were in. So I had a guy in government. You'll always have these nice suits come by, and they're in charge of a lot of money. And he looked at my manager and asked, what's up with this guy? And my manager, after me being there years, and I was an incident response lead, he said, he's important, leave him alone. I subsequently never saw that man in a suit again, so. That moment stayed with me, not because of the clothes, because it reminded me that there's no single mold for who belongs in the profession. A lot of you have very interesting backgrounds. I love hearing when somebody says, I do cyber. It just means so many things. Cybersecurity does not require a specific background, a certain personality type, or the perfect resume. It requires people who are willing to learn, adapt, and persist. So when I look at this graduating class, I see that same diversity of experience and the same willingness to grow. We all need to remember to look beyond the surface and discover how we can make an impact in our own way. Another important lesson I learned along the way is to be kind and stay humble. Anyone who's spent time in cybersecurity understands how much there is to know and how much we don't know. It was crazy. Talking to one of the people there, he said it felt like every year was a first year for him. That kind of stuck out for me because we're always just learning things. At some point in this journey, I realized I wasn't working towards a finish line as much as I was learning how to become a lifelong student. Some of the most powerful words you can say in this industry are, "I don't know," and "let me get back to you." Because those words build trust, create space for real collaboration, and acknowledge that expertise is always evolving. Each of you has developed meaningful technical skills, but what will sustain you is how you show up. Curiosity will carry you further than ego, and humility will earn you more influence than certainty ever could. Closely connected to that humility is the final lesson. We must support each other. Cybersecurity is demanding work, the problems are complex, the stakes are high, and the adversaries we face are persistent and adaptive. There will be moments when the pressure feels heavy and when the responsibility cannot be shouldered alone. In those moments, technical skill matters, but trust and teamwork matter more. As Frank Kim would say, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's something I take with me every day. During my time in this program, life did not slow down to make room for coursework. There were deployments, the birth of children, unexpected surgery, where a lot of rehab, 4 of them to be exact. Times of financial strain. What made the difference was not just personal determination, but the people who chose to walk the journey with me. I'd not be standing here today without the advisors who worked with me through shifting schedules, deployments, the recovery from surgery, and adjusting timelines so I could continue moving forward. Denise and Crystal, I didn't see you here today, but if you do hear this, that kindness did not go unnoticed. There's one memory that I can't escape today that brings a lot of this into focus. So years ago, I was standing in the kitchen with my wife, Brianna, during one of those uncertain times. We're in a tough spot financially. I'd been studying part-time for years, 6 years at this point, 14 years now. And she looked at me and asked, "Where does this all end?" And it really wasn't a kind ask. It was, man, it was a tough time. Giving her a 7-year projection to get out of debt and be able to afford a house by 40, that wasn't a cool conversation. So all I told her was, I don't know where this ends, but we can't stay here. Well, graduating class, we're here. So, yeah. I'll leave you with this. You're sitting here today because you wanted to do the work to achieve the best education and opportunities possible for yourself. You've earned the privilege of sitting in a room full of some of the most talented people you'll get to meet in your lifetime. We've all been through something remarkable, and we've all got our stories to share. Don't forget who came before and those who came after. Those who lead well, remember well. The knowledge that comes with this experience now serves as an obligation to do better for the people around you. Make space for those on unconventional paths, because many of us took one. Stay humble enough to keep learning and allow others to enjoy growth with you. And remember, it's not possible to win every battle alone. The only way to sustain ourselves is to work together. The journey doesn't stop. Let's build success until it's the only outcome left. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanner. Next, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mark Stevens. After graduating, After graduating from the University of Sutherland, Mark started his career in technology on a remote access support desk in London, England. He eventually relocated to the United States. For the last 28 years, he has worked as a solutions engineer for Cisco, placing him at the center of many information technology transformations. So, welcome, Mark.
Thank you, everyone. Can we give a round of applause to Tanner? I thought he did an outstanding job. I'm going to share a little story of my path, of how I got here. And it actually kind of starts 34 years ago. And yes, boy, that seems like a long time. And I did graduate from the University of Sunderland in the UK, ready to work in the field of technology. And if I'm truthful, I really had little idea what that meant. And little did I know that that field would reinvent itself over and over again. What I didn't understand then was that careers evolve, technology changes, but leadership endures. Throughout my career, I've been able to ride the waves of innovation, of adoption, of obsolescence, when things wear out and something new replaces it. Many times, I've gone through this as technology advances through phases like the internet, centralized computing, cloud computing, distributed computing, virtualization, migration to the cloud, and then back again. And frankly, it has never been more true now, where we find ourselves at this moment in time with the promise of AI. And President SCOTUS said it, right? Don't be scared of it, right? We have to take control of it. But AI is about to rewrite everything. Change is not the exception in our field, it is the rule. And that is an opportunity and a responsibility we face. We live in a digital age where every aspect of our lives is intertwined with technology. The statement, "there's an app for that," has never been truer, right, and is an everyday occurrence. However, these apps are not just for entertainment. They underpin our daily lives. You may be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that we build up our requirements to get to where we want to go, right? It starts with our basic physiological needs of survival. It adds on safety, belonging, esteem, and we want to ultimately get to that self-actualization, where we're doing the things we want to do, we dream about doing and spending our time. Now, technology supports us at every layer of that journey. Electricity and water systems depend on digital infrastructure. Healthcare relies on connected devices and data. Economies run on networks. Communications, relationships, hobbies, they're all mediated through technology. The foundation of human civilizations, of humans flourishing, now depends on the systems that we build and secure. This is why technology is critical and why securing that technology cannot be an afterthought. Careers in our field are simply not roles, they are positions of trust. For me, I had a fulfilling career in networking, where the purpose is to enable things to communicate. I was asked by my manager to be the go-to guy for a firewall system for our team of solutions engineers. And that was my first step into security, where, by the way, the main purpose of security is to stop everything talking to each other, or at least to permit only the right things. Once I peeked behind the security curtain, I was hooked. Now, through SANS, I became a certified incident handler, and later a penetration tester. And by the way, my wife, Nadine, still thinks that I've made those titles up. Right? But trust me, they are real. They're fascinating careers. What I didn't realize at the time was that I was not just building skills, I was building perspective. Security forces you to think differently, to anticipate risk, to plan for failure, to assume responsibility when things go wrong. Those security skills are leadership skills. In 2020, you may remember that year very fondly. Well, at least my dog does, because I spent every day with her, right? I was presented the opportunity to take an early retirement. My daughter, Claudia, at the time, was in college. My son, Gabriel, was about to start college. My daughter, Ella, was in high school, and my son, Connor, was a 9th grader. So you can imagine, retirement was not in my planning, right? But it did raise an important question. What else could I do? A friend and mentor, someone I greatly admire, Mike McPhee, was just wrapping up his master's degree with the SANS Technology Institute. He told me what an incredibly challenging and rewarding journey it had been for him. That was enough to inspire me to take the leap. I worked for Cisco. Cisco agreed to fund my journey, and off I went, deeper into the world of information security engineering. That really meant evenings, weekends, family holidays, any spare time were devoted to online classes, to labs, to group projects, to research report, to cyber ranges. There were highlights of moments. Mark Baggett's class is phenomenal, by the way, if you ever get the chance to take it. And there were times that I simply had to power through. I want to thank my family for the constant support and for allowing me not to always be present, even when I was physically there. And I want to thank Mike for sharing his journey about SANS Technology Institute, and sometimes that's all it takes. One person who inspires you to take a chance. The SANS graduate program promises to create security leaders. But a leader is not just a manager of people. A leader can be a technical expert, someone who sets the standard through mastery. It can look like mentoring someone who reminds you of yourself at a certain phase in their life. Leadership can be influenced through example. I'd like to leave you with a timeless quote, and I actually got this from one of the classes, so it was really a full circle type of thing, from John Quincy Adams. He's an American statesman, and he was the 6th president of the United States. He said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, then you are a leader. We leave here today into a world defined by rapidly changing technology. AI will evolve, platforms will rise and fall, but the need for technical excellence and inspirational leadership will not change. Our society now depends on technology at every level of human need, and for the responsibility to securing that society rests in your hands. I'll leave here today. I want you to leave here today ready to learn more, ready to do more, ready to become more, and inspire others the same way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Lee Crognelli, and I'm a senior instructor at SANS and a faculty research advisor with the college. On behalf of President SCOTUS, the faculty, and the staff of SANS Technology Institute, we would like to thank you all for being here today to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2025. Graduates, today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of countless new opportunities. You have dedicated many hours to master complex challenges, solve difficult problems, and built the skills needed to defend systems, organizations, and people in an increasingly digital world. The work you do is so important, and every day, your knowledge and judgment will help protect information, infrastructure, and trust. As you move forward in your careers, remember cybersecurity is not only about technology, but it's also about responsibility. Lead with integrity. Stay curious. Continue to learn, adapt, and share your knowledge with others. The threats will evolve, but so will you. To the families, friends, and mentors here today, thank you for supporting these graduates along the way. To our graduates, we are proud of you. We look forward to seeing the impact you will make in the years ahead. Congratulations, class of 2025. At this time, I ask the graduates to please rise as we begin the recessional out of the auditorium. Guests, we kindly ask that you remain seated until the graduates have exited. You will have the opportunity to reconnect with your graduate afterward to take photos and continue the celebration. Thank you.